what happened to the German national team? This year's World Cup feels like a two-horse race between Barcelona and France and the French Avengers. But that makes sense, as Spain are the current champions of Europe, and France have made the last two World Cup finals, even winning one. But what about Germany? They won the tournament only 3 tournaments ago, and have delivered one of the most iconic moments in football history with their 7-1 thrashing of Brazil on their home soil. But ever since then, they have yet to even qualify for the round of 16. Coming off the backs of a third-place finish in the 2010 World Cup, there was a lot of hope and hype for the German national team. Germany had one of the youngest squads at the tournament with an average age of just around 25 years old. The youth development system overhauled done years prior is starting to show great progress, with youngsters such as Toni Kroos, Thomas Müller, and Mesut Ozil alongside other stars such as Manuel Neuer, Bastian Schweinsteiger, and Lukas Podolski. The young squad showed great promise in the 2012 Euros as well before losing to Italy when, they were good. Then came the 2014 World Cup, where Germany were one of the favorites to win the tournament alongside Argentina and the host nation Brazil. It was finally time for the golden generation to be put to its test, as a squad full of the youth talent in 2010 are now in their prime. And they dominated. In their opening game of the tournament, they beat Portugal in prime Ronaldo 4-0. They beat France and the two favorites, Argentina and Brazil, on their way to the trophy. In 7 games, they scored 18 goals, the most of the tournament, and only conceded 4. They didn't lose a game. Müller scored the second most goals in the tournament, Kroos had the second most assists in the tournament, and Miroslav Klose broke the record for the most goals in the World Cup. Although his record's probably going to be gone by this tournament after, Müller then won the silver ball and silver boot, while Neuer won the golden glove. The dominance of players like Kroos, Ozil, Khedira, Lahm, Müller, and Neuer made this German team unstoppable. Now here's where it started to go wrong. The 2018 World Cup. The 2018 World Cup only featured 9 players in the championship team, with them being Neuer, Ginter, Hummels, Khedira, Draxler, Kroos, Ozil, Müller, and Boateng. Key players missing from the squad are Lahm, who retired from international football, the finals hero Götze, which was a decision, Bastian Schweinsteiger, Andreas Schürrle, and Lukas Podolski, and of course Miroslav Klose, who retired as well. However, they were replaced with promising talent such as Timo Werner, William Brandt, Leon Goretzka, and Joshua Kimmich. And Germany also added more experienced players like Marco Reus and Ilkay Gundogan to balance out the squad. They were even the pre-tournament favorites to win the whole thing. Relying on the youth who worked in 2014, so they said run it back. And yeah, without the leadership of guys like Lahm, Schweinsteiger, and Klose, and with key players from the 2014 World Cup like Schürrle, Götze, and Podolski not in form or just not in the tournament, Germany collapsed and crashed and burned out of the tournament, finishing last in their group with an embarrassing 2-0 defeat to South Korea. Germany were still too reliant on Kroos, Müller, and Neuer, and while Kroos was brilliant keeping Germany in the tournament, Müller had a very disappointing World Cup, and Neuer and the entire German defense had more holes in it than Primabella Danger. And with that, they joined an exclusive list of only 6 teams that won the tournament and lost and crashed out in the group stages after. Oh, and by the way, guess what was the only team to achieve this feat twice? After a lackluster 2020 Euros, where they lost in the round of 16 to England, Germany geared up for the 2022 World Cup now under Hansi Flick, after Jogi Löw decided to step down from his role as the manager of Germany. Flick had just come off a historical stint with Bayern, where he won the Champions League, the Bundesliga twice, the DFB Pokal. he just won everything at that club. Now, of course, today we all know how good Hansi Flick is for Barcelona, but the German national team under him was a mess. Flick's high pressing and aggressive style just did not work with the players he had and the team as a whole. Along with that, Kroos retiring from international football hurt the Germans, as he was the heart of the team and the last remaining part of the core that brought them to glory in the beginning, besides Neuer. The only players left from the 2014 World Cup squad were Neuer, Müller, Ginter, and Götze, who got called back to the World Cup squad. All of these pieces culminated in a 2-1 loss to Japan, with both goals coming from a devastating counterattack, knocking Germany out in the group stages for the second World Cup in a row, becoming the only team in history to achieve that feat. Flick was sacked a year later after Germany lost 4-1 to Japan again in an international friendly. There is hope for Germany in this year's World Cup, especially coming off a quarterfinal run in the Euros, losing only to the champions in Spain. However, that Euros team is a lot different than the team we'll see at this World Cup, as Kroos, who unretired, retired for good this time, and Grandpas Müller and Gundogan are being left off the squad. Other key omissions from the squad include veteran Serge Gnabry and youngster Lennart Karl, which was so disappointing to hear, man, because I believe he was poised to have a superstar-making tournament and was going to be that guy, that one player that breaks out from the World Cup. But now Germany has an entirely new core of guys like Kimmich, Musiala, Wirtz, Woltemade, and Havertz, which I still don't know if he's elite or ass. So what is the ceiling for this German World Cup squad? To be honest, not that high for me. Okay, so this part of the video was supposed to be me predicting Germany's final results in the World Cup in the future, but what did I just see? 10th ranked Germany just lost to 41st ranked Paraguay in a penalty shootout in the World Cup. Nah, man, this is actually embarrassing for Germany. Because, sure, they had failing to score more than one goal against Paraguay in the round of 32 at the World Cup is ridiculous. Sure, Germany dominated the game. Sure, they controlled possession. They had 21 shots. They had nearly 800 passes against Paraguay. But at the end of the day, like, how can this team lose to Paraguay? Havertz proving my point. This guy scored a goal. This guy scored a game-tying goal, and then decided to miss the penalty, just like his teammate Gabriel. I guess he didn't want to be alone. And then Woltemade, he was crucial for Germany in the World Cup qualifiers. If for some reason Julian Nagelsmann just chooses not to play him in the World Cup at all until the knockout round, which then of course he misses his penalty, and then sure, the second goal in extra time for Germany, sure, it was a soft call, and maybe you can argue that it was the wrong call, but that still doesn't matter, because Germany should have scored way more goals against this Paraguay team. And to be honest, I don't know what this reflects. Is Germany just that bad, or is Paraguay just that good? Which would mean you have to give the USA more credit because they decimated this Paraguayan team. Mecha was poor. 100 million euros, my ass. He dramatically decreased his value. Sane was... I don't understand Sane, how you could... I don't know what Nagelsmann sees in Sane to keep playing him. But he still gets in the squad somehow, and he stinks it up every single time. And then Wirtz, to be fair, Wirtz was decent. Then it's Undov, when he starts, he just can't produce, or he doesn't have the same impact as when he came off the bench. And the worst part is that in the shootout, Neuer literally gave Germany a second chance to come back in the shootout, and then they still lost. Also, that penalty situation from Germany, is ridiculous. Kimmich had to literally ask 3 or 4 players to take a penalty, and they all said no. Goretzka, he had to ask twice. And Goretzka, man, this is disgraceful. You have made over 70 caps for Germany. You scored 15 goals, and you are one of the leaders on this team. First of all, Kimmich shouldn't need to ask you more than once to take a penalty. Noah Brown, I understand, and Anton, I understand, but Goretzka ducking a penalty, that's just disgraceful. And honestly, respect to Jonathan Tah, because even though he's never taken a penalty, he still stepped up for his country and took on the responsibility, which is more than I can say for guys like Goretzka. And even so, why is a center back taking the 6th penalty for Germany? It should be a midfielder or an attacking player taking a penalty, but a center back who's never taken a penalty before is taking the 6th penalty? Nagelsmann, what does he do? Also, why is Kimmich in charge of picking who's taking the penalties? What does Nagelsmann do? Why isn't there a set order of people after the 5th penalty if it goes that far? Did Germany only choose 5 penalty takers and then the rest was all up to fate? Horrible managing by Nagelsmann and disgraceful ducking by Goretzka and others. Shout out to Jonathan Tah. You're a warrior for your country. But hey, those are just my opinions. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. This is my first ever long form video on my channel, so it really means a lot that you guys would take your time and watch my video. And I would love any criticism or feedback you guys have in order to help me improve my channel.